What's up, family? So Trump, he threatened Elon Musk over the tax bill because we all know that Elon Musk doesn't like the big beautiful bill, which had just passed in the Senate. And so apparently Donald J. Trump, yes, Trump, the phenomenal, the most transparent president in history, which I believe will go down as the best president in history and one of the best just through what might be one of the wildest shade to some, yet at Elon Musk, and people are acting like, oh, I can't believe he just said that. But in the middle of talking to policy and EV mandates and what sounds like a fever dream of a grocery store plan, Trump drops the plain line. He could have lost a lot more than that. Now, you know what that remind me of growing up when my grandmother, right? My grandparents and hanging around them while my parents were working. If I was acting up, protesting or calling myself acting up because I couldn't stay outside to play basketball, whatever the case may be, all my grandma had to do was say, "Yeah, you keep acting up. I got something for you." So just imagine that remind me just how powerful, right? Trump is a man of few words but means so much at the same time. Because I knew in my situation, my grandma was gonna whoop my behind, and she ain't play no games. You hear me? So I already know it better get my butt in line. So the same thing with Elon Musk. If he better stop playing, if he know better, because if he keep playing with Trumpy, it will be no more Elon Musky, no more EVs, and you'll be sitting there whining in your Model S, tweeting angrily. But at the end of the day, Trump got the power and he got the pen to make the policy happen where he'll be erased and vanished within this whole mess since Elon Musk want to have a tantrum. See, sometimes what I get from this family is you got to be grateful and be careful and pick and choose your battles wisely because you can actually do things to actually mess up your success and get in your own way and then try to play victim like you wasn't the one that caused all this ruckus in the first place due to your temper tantrum and protest. So, for example, back to my example, growing up as a kid when I wanted to stay outside and play basketball, but I knew it was time to come in because you know what they say when the lights come on and it get nighttime, ain't nothing else good to do out there at night. Time to wrap it up, go home, close that door, lock it up for the night. You'll play basketball again when it's time to go outside in the daytime. So, with that being said, I knew to keep my privilege of being able to go outside and see some daylight and not be punished, I got my act together real quick. And Trump saying, look, you better get your act together because I could do a lot way worse, brother. Yeah, I respect you. All the things that you done, being Canadian and coming to America and making something out of yourself and really contributing and really creating a lot of jobs and innovation with the tech world and saving individuals out there in space faster than NASA can do it. I give you all the utmost respect. But at the end of the day, I respect myself just as much to let you know at the end of the day, power don't amount to respect. But if you want respect, your character is what keep you, not that money. So you better keep yourself in check. That's how I'm looking at this whole thing. That's what I read. But anyway, fam, let's get into the video.
We do have President Trump. He's just been departing the White House. He has some comments that were taped as he was leaving. Here's what he has to say.
It's an East Coast version, and it should be very exciting, very good. Worked very hard on it with Ron and everybody, and I think it's going to be great. And then I'll be back here fighting for the bill, and I hear it's going okay. We'll move it along. But we'll be back here pretty early.
What do you think the president on the bill? You've been warning some Republicans not to go too crazy with the cuts. Are there parts of the bill or amendments that you think cut too much?
We're going to have to see the final version. I don't want to go too crazy with cuts. I don't like cuts. There are certain things that have been cut, which is good. I think we're doing well. We're going to have to see. It's very complicated stuff. Great enthusiasm, as you know. And I think in the end, we're going to have it. What do you think, Caroline? Yeah, I think
What do you think about Ron Mamdani having such a hard time condemning the phrase globalizing intifada?
I think he's terrible. He's a communist. The last thing we need is a communist. I said there will never be socialism in the United States. Now we have a communist. So I think he's bad news, and I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with him, watching him, because he has to come right to this building to get his money. And don't worry, he's not going to run away.
Exactly. Because the funny part is, and I hope New York know better to not. I know he got I know he won the primary as the mayor of New York, but if they know better, they better off picking Mayor Eric Adams. And I know that he's independent now, and Saran Mudami is a Democrat, but he's given. I realize anytime someone is giving away free stuff, that's when voters want to operate out of desperation and just run to freeness. They want to run to something that's free, but don't even ask the question at what cost? See, growing up, my great grandma, she used to go to the food pantry. She used to do a lot of things out of active service. God rest her soul, right? And you ever had an experience where a lot of people be at the food pantry who don't really need the food, but just out of desperate, just because it's free, they just gonna get it, but they taking away from the people that really need it. But now look at this situation with Saran Udami. He wants to have this dream of a grocery store plan where the city controls the grocery store, and he wants to tax a particular demographic, which is wealthy white people. And if you want to be honest, he doesn't like billionaires, which is the 1% that employs New Yorkers and create jobs for them and get them promotions and help them with retirement plans and so forth. He doesn't really like them, but he said he'll work with them, but he really don't think they should exist. Very contradicting, very hypocritical within everything that he says. He tries to come off very polished, but he's not. He's speaking ignorance. But the New Yorkers are doing things not in their best interest because they've been offered free, what? Free freeze of rent? You got to live anywhere. You can't live nowhere for free. What also, what? That all equality for all? Well, you don't see him giving his own money, and Trump hit it on the nail. He gonna come to this very building and ask for money because you don't even see him doing the thing that he preaching. But let's continue. I find that interesting.
Away with anything. I think frankly, I've heard he's a total nut job. I think the people of New York are crazy. If they go this route, I think they're crazy. We will have a communist for the first time, really.
I don't think they will.
A
Hopefully,
pure, true
New York know better.
communist. He wants to operate the grocery stores, the department stores. What about the people that are there? I think it's crazy.
What happened to Elon Musk?
Billionaires will leave.
Who?
What happened to Elon Musk?
Nothing. He's upset. He's losing his EV mandate, and he's very upset about things, but he could lose a lot more than that. I can tell you right now. Hey, Elon can lose a lot more than that.
A lot more than that. Whoa. You heard him?
We hope it's going to happen, and we're looking forward to happen sometime next week. We want to get our hostages back. We want to get the hostages back.
What if the big beautiful bill doesn't pass? You have to go through item by item by item and pass this stuff one at a time, or are you just going to try again?
I think we're going to get there. It's tough. We're trying to break it down so it's really good for the country. Trying to get a lot for everybody, and it's a big bill. And smaller bills would have been easy, but they wouldn't have been as good. I think it's going to do okay.
And what the alligator Alpha says is the idea that if some illegal immigrants escape, they just get eaten by an alligator or a snake or something.
I guess that's the concept. This is not a nice business. I guess that's the concept. If snakes are fast, but alligators are. But we're going to teach them how to run away from an alligator, okay? If they escape prison, how to run away. Don't run in a straight line. Run like this. And you know what? Your chances go up about 1%. Okay? Not a good thing.
What are you going to talk to Netanyahu about next Monday?
Well, he's coming here. We're going to talk about a lot of things. We're going to talk about the great success we had. I mean, we had an incredible, in Iran, we had an incredible success. Like really nobody's had in many, many years. That was a precision war strike, and the word obliteration can now be used because the Atomic Energy Commission said you can't even get into the place. It was demolished. It was really demolished. It was a great, brilliant strike, and how to go forward. We're also going to talk about Gaza. We want to get the rest. We got a lot of hostages back, but we're going to talk about the hostages. I don't know. I think we'll have to take a look. We might have to put Doge on Elon. You know what Doge is? Doge is the monster that might have to go back and eat Elon. Wouldn't that be terrible? He gets a lot of subsidies, Peter.
Put the monster on the
But
monster.
Elon's very upset that the EV mandate is going to be terminated. And you know what? When you look at it, not everybody wants an electric car. I don't want an electric car. I want to have maybe gasoline, maybe electric, maybe a hybrid, maybe someday a hydrogen. If you have a hydrogen car, it has one problem. It blows up, So I'm going to give that one to Peter. I'm going to let Peter test it out.
Oh, man.
Hydrogen cars. And when they blow up, it's serious. They find you 5 blocks away. It's that good.
How are the main talks going? Are there any countries we can expect to see before the July 9th deadline?
Everything's going well. Honestly, everything. This is very complicated because it's very big, a lot of different areas. Look, the Republicans have their heart in it. The Democrats they just want to destroy our country. A Democrat wants to destroy the country. They won't vote on it. They don't vote on anything. This is the biggest tax cut in history. Everything is the biggest in history. It's the best bill we've ever had. We can't get one Democrat vote.
When do you think you'll get final? When do you think you'll get final?
Nice guy, Peter. What do you think?
Very nice guy.
When do you think you'll get final passage of the bill?
Hopefully soon. Hopefully today, if we can. Final passage. When I say final, let's take Senate at a time, okay? But I think Senate should be today, and we go over the House.
And what about Senator Murkowski? Is there any way to placate her?
Who knows? You tell me. You tell me. Is there? Alaska's done so well with me. There's never been a president better to Alaska than me. But it doesn't mean people appreciate it. Have a good time.
Man, shout out to Trump, man. Shout out to Trump, man. He like my grandpa, man. He cracks jokes. He got humor. He's realistic. He's transparent. He honest. Who don't want to hear directly from the source instead of all this mumble jumble, mainstream headline jumbo, right? But what I was getting to was, did Trump just threaten to get rid of Elon Musk and put Doge on the monster on the monster? Because that's what it sounded like, low key. This man didn't say it directly, but that's his thing. He says it without saying it, and the implication was clear as day. Elon, sit down and shut up, or you about to learn what losing a lot more really means. And the thing is, this isn't some random Twitter beef, right? This is the two of the biggest egos on the planet basically colliding in real time. On one side, you got Elon Musk, king of electric vehicles, rocket ships, free speech, absolutism, and meme stocks. On the other hand, you got Trump, the dude who made political theater an Olympic sport, who's now hitting that Elon might get some of these billionaire perks revoked if he keeps acting out. Right? And that's real leadership. You got to make hard decisions. He just said this is a tough business. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I felt like Elon was cozy enough to Trump just to keep his EV mandate that Biden was going to go along with. And now he realized, look, whether we cool or not, I'm going to act on what's best interest of Americans. And I respect what you've done and brought to America. And I continue to promote because Trump has a lot of influence and power. So promoting Tesla would obviously get more people interested in wanting to invest. But honestly, Elon is doing himself a disservice going against Trump because you have to know your role. And this is the person that brought you into the White House in the first place, right? And really appreciated and thanked you every step of the way. And now you trying to overstep the boss? No, it don't work that way. You can't bite the hand that feeds you and then want something at the same time. You can't. Elon Musk can't. He's already thriving. Money is not an issue. But you can't want to act like you want to do what's best for Americans and just doing a favor because you have been appreciative. So how much you got handed to how much of privilege you have gotten being in America to be able to be successful and a wealthy man, a billionaire within yourself. And then the same sentence say, I want my electric vehicles pushed on all the consumers who already who had the preference before you even got as big with Tesla. When Tesla first came out, there still were options of gas vehicles and you're still thriving. But now you just want to push EVs on Americans who are your top consumers and say they don't have no other options. Slow your roll, buddy. Slow your roll. And I like how Trump did it. That's a true leadership. That's true leadership. And at the end of the day, I can't lie. The whole thing felt like a crossover episode between Shark Tank and WWE, baby. One's threatening EV tax credits, the other's probably plotting a tweet storm while building a flamethrower in a bunker. But the bottom line, if Trump really is sending shots, and let's be real, he absolutely is, then we're watching the open round of a billionaire versus president grudge match that might just reshape the whole EV industry. Not to mention the 2024 the election drama, because we only 6 months into this administration. But the point is, Elon Musk is making it complicated for no reason every time he has these tantrums. The bill is amazing. No tax on overtime. You know how many people trying to pay off their student loans and stuff like that? And it gives people more incentive to want to work more, and be able to do more and have more money in their pockets. What are you talking about? You know how much tips matters to people? What are we talking about? Able-bodied people going to work because they can, because it's not fair to individuals who are paying taxes that are going to work to fund these programs, when you got people that walking around growing up that I know been walking around the block and walking around the hood, and they could go to work and they monitoring the hood worrying about everybody else's business when they could be going to work and doing something productive or doing some community service. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not desensitized to it. Now, when it comes to the elderly and the disabled, I'm all, but it's not like he's saying getting rid of the programs. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Love you guys. Peace.